Hello, everyone. This is Julie from August Birdsong, and I just thought I would show you some of my progress with my Medieval Garden Collage Book. And here you can see this is a two-page spread here. This is the very beginning of the book, and I think this is how I will keep it. Most likely. I may change what's in the pocket over here, but as far as the pocket here with this picture of a group of young people from the castle, and they're listening maybe to a poet talking to them. I liked how the colors in their gowns and his hat went well with this bird here that I put on this collage. And I added the flowers with some puffy dots underneath to kind of lift them. And of course, there's some perfect pearls in there. And also the black, these are hinges from Scrapman Dies. I added them in just to kind of unite the colors and draw the eye into the bird, and the bird has the black in it. And so the black is just a nice neutral color, and yet bold enough that it kind of brings the page together, because the background is sort of this medieval tapestry. And I'm pretty sure this is from, I believe, Mrs. Coggs Crafts recently put out a digikit with like medieval tapestries, and the pictures were smaller. And so what I just did is once I downloaded them, I just enlarged some of the backgrounds, and then of course did my tearing to build the page. And I probably could have left them smaller and still worked with them fine that way. But anyways, I loved kind of the medieval tapestry. And so that was beneath the bird as well. But of course, when you put your focal point in and start building up the layers around it, part of that background really gets, it disappears and gets pushed to the back. So the black here just kind of helped subdue the busyness of the tapestry in the background. And then I also added a quote. This is from a digikit from Poppiness on Etsy. It says, "Look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better." Albert Einstein said that. Okay, so I'm just going to page through some progress I've had here, and you can see also kind of how I think I probably will keep the layout. Here I was working on this one in my last video of this. She reminds me of kind of a medieval, maybe Eastern European queen. And I thought of this as a wintertime scene. She's got her heavy gown on and the furs, and it looks cold in the window there. And again, I just built up the flowers behind the image of her, and then also put some of these leaves on puffy dots, and the bird too, just to bring it forward. So we're sort of looking in on her. And then I just added again some of those Scrapman Dies in the black to kind of draw the eye in again, and just kind of, it's almost like window dressing. When you think of, what do the drapes add in your house besides, well, you can, close them at night so no one can look in. But the drapes also just are that little bit of framing in the room, whether it's for the room itself or for the window and looking out. These are sort of like drapes in that, you add them in just to kind of unite everything and draw the eye in. Here's another page, and I had mentioned this page a while ago. I pretty much didn't change anything other than adding this little dormouse, or deer mouse is actually what it is. This is one of those little stamps from the collage sheet by Red Lead Paperwork. And I also added, again, the black in these dies. Now, these ones I think are from a Spellbinder die I have. And it's sort of it actually is a full circle. So these are, actually a full circle like that. And what I do is I just cut them down because I didn't necessarily want a whole, circle of this motif. But by cutting them, I can place them in certain ways that, again, notice you've heard me talk about kind of that triangle again. And I liked the black because the chickadee here has black in him, and it just plays off that with an otherwise somewhat busy background. We have this sort of, central, this is in Italy, square or whatever. It looks by government buildings maybe. You have the music that I put in places. So you have a lot going on. And again, that black just kind of ties it together. Excuse me. I also added this reddish orange sari silk. And I did that to pick up some of the orangish, pinkish, reddish color, whatever you want to call it, in the flower. And then notice the little deer mouse here has some kind of a berry or something that also picks that color up. And there are just a few little reddish tones in the clothing of the people. And so that's why I brought that color in, was to highlight, just to bring that color in, because otherwise we have a lot of kind of grayish stonework, the black, of course, and all, and it just gives it some pop. All right, on that page then, I had shown this one earlier. The only thing I really did differently is I added this quote: "I never for a day gave up listening to the songs of our birds or watching their peculiar habits or delineating them in the best way I could." John James Audubon. And I just added that with this is again some of that sari silk. It comes, and actually I'll show you here. I just ordered another one of these. This is how the sari silk comes. And I just am forgetting the name of, there's a name for this, and I can't think of what it's called. My husband thought this was like some kind of a dog toy when he first opened it up, but it's not. And I haven't actually undone this one, but there you go. You see how it unrolls, and then you have these long strips of remnant sari silk. These are just like the cutoffs from the factories where the saris are made. And then they get all stitched together. And then they add some other things so that they see here with this, whoops, and that one just came apart. But they're all sewn together in these long strands. And so then what I do is I just, whatever the colors I want to use, I cut out however much I want to use, or if I just want to take that whole section, cut it out. And then when it's starting to get picked apart more, I just put it in my bag here. And again, continue to just cut strips like this out. Here are some other ones from the first, I want to say maybe this thing is called a hank, Hank, something like that. There's a name for it. And but when you look it up, it's just, sari silk. I purchased this from an Etsy shop called Silk Divine, and real fast delivery and great options. There's all kinds of different things to look at there. This is just like the multi-pack of remnants that you can get, and it was very reasonable. Off the top of my head, Let me see here real quick. I might have it written down and I might not. It really was very reasonable though. Yeah, I'm not sure how much that one. It might have been somewhere only around like $12 to $15, something like that. But this will last me for months, well, even longer, potentially years, if I'm just using it for small trim on things. But there, there's just so much that you can do with this. With crafting in general. So that's where these bits and pieces have come from. And this is one, the sari silk on a lot of these is actually, let me pull a piece here, fairly wide when you actually spread it out. So in some cases, once I've cut it out, I even cut it and tear it down the middle because I don't always want this large of a piece. Just to embellish an edge or under a quote. So this one I cut in half and just put it at the top of the quote and the bottom of the quote, glued it down, and that's what I did with that. So there you have that page. Also added some sari silk and that picture there. And this one I had shown you already. Down here we have just a flip out and some sari silk on that. Okay, and this page, I didn't change a lot. I only added the lady walking here to it and a little bit of the perfect pearls down here and like a silver. And the page I did work on quite a bit was this section here. And so I'm going to show you kind of the 2-page spread. Here I've got this sort of navy blue. And I intentionally put this one there because of the navy blue in this. I had made this a while ago, but I felt like it tied well with that, as well as the greens. In this. And then when you open it here you have this is a Vermeer painting, and the artist is painting the woman here, but we have this mix of the blues, and so I put these like blue cone flowers down, and I found this little bird here, and I liked that the bird had the blue but also kind of the gold to play with this and the flower here. This is a paper from Medieval Mirage. So it just, the 2 pages next to each other really bounce off each other for color and kind of common themes, the flowers, nature, all of that. And then on the back of this here, let me pull it over where you can see, this was a collage I had done on the back of that other one a while ago. And, excuse me, the only thing I really added to this one was this purple sari silk. Just to sort of, I wanted to play off this thistle stamp up here. You can barely see it, but it's a purple thistle. And I wanted to just pick up that tone a little, and it plays nicely, even though this is more of a violet, and this is a little bit more fuchsia. Plays nicely with that. And put a quote up here. Listen to the voice of nature, for it holds treasure for you. Native American proverb. These quotes that are this size are all from Poppiness on Etsy. And they're different themes, a lot of nature themes and reading and, thoughts about life, how to live a good life, things like that. And I just cut them down and add them, and the size works real well. So there you have that now. And let's see here. Oh, I'll flip this side back in so that will go like that. This green picks up nice with that too. And we come to this page, and with this side, I had this in it, and that's really the one I want in there most of the time because the green works really well with the page next to it. But I added a quote, look on this beautiful world and read the truth in her fair page. I put that there because here's this little cutout of books down here. And then on this side, I just added the quote here, "My wish is to stay always like this, living quietly in a corner of nature." And I liked the play on the corner here in this. Added a little bit of muslin trim there. And on this side, I added this picture of these two women. Maybe this is the mistress and this is her servant. Here we have the girl with the pearl earring down here, and maybe another servant or friend of the mistress of the house kind of thing. And so I just thought they all kind of worked well. And in most cases, I think the head housekeeper, if you watch Downton Abbey, and I'm forgetting her name, but the head housekeeper there, they always have the keys to, all of the food and the wines and the storage of things, because they kept them locked up. And so I thought a key was kind of good for this page, just because we're sort of looking at more of the servants, the help in this case. And so this is how I'll have this page normally, is like that. And on this side here we have, I had shown this one before, and I ended up, this I made as a bottom tuck. This was initially just it could have been a pocket anywhere, or just some kind of for a card, just a small collage, like a little bigger than an index card. But I decided I liked this so much down here, I didn't want to cover that up permanently. So I just found something to tuck up and under that. And it makes me think of like a young King Arthur or something like that. And he's receiving his crown in this beautiful garden area, trellis area they're in. And I went ahead and I just put on the back some cotton, little cotton sample I had. Nothing real special, but I just wanted it to come through as real silky and soft. And also this slides real nice for pushing it up under there. And those colors went real nice with, other things in that pocket up above. And so it can just sit there. There's a quote down here. I just added a little purple trim to this side here on the very bottom here. You can see it's kind of a fuchsia and teal, the mix of the sari silk there. And then the page flips back in, and we keep moving on. So then when you turn it, this page, I had a tag I had made a while ago, and with the birds, and I just loved the red of it and thought the red would bounce nice with this red and black bird on this page. But I needed to do something with the top to pick up some of the colors in this. This was, again, just a pocket I made months ago. And I wanted to kind of play off the blacks and the reds and all. And so I had one of my big flowers from one of those coloring books I'm talking about. It was something like this size. And so what I did is I cut it in half. Think of that getting cut in half. Cut it in half and put it down on this page. And then I have this page that goes next to it drying. So if you look at this, I just put some perfect pearls on this page and it's drying. But if you look at it, now you're going to have the red of this rose and then the red of that other half of it on that page. And I added again some of that, the black hinge work and these sort of black scalloped. It's really one piece, and I just cut them in half to make them fit better with the page, because I wanted to pick up again those black accents, her hat, This is maybe either just a throw or a coat from this other woman here. You have the shadows and rooftops in black, and then over on this page again you have these black accents. And so that's how that page ended up coming together. And then I tuck my bird, and here I have a little sari silk as well. And then this will come over on it. And this has a little tag in it that I showed before. And again, some die cut here. This is from one of those like fragment dies of Tim Holtz. They're called something like that. And so, and then these were just some of the pop out parts to another fragment die, and I just used that. I had used the die on some scrapbook paper, and that's why it's got some color to it. It's from just an old piece of scrapbook paper. All right, and I'm going to just carefully flip this one because, like I said, it is drying. And so this one will look like that when you flip the page. This is that girl with the pearl earring, and I just took the picture I had from the digital kit I have. Remember this right back here? And I just blew it up. I just increased the size and saved a copy that size and then cut it out. I did that on scrapbook paper when I printed it and cut it out. So it's from the same picture. It's from the same digital kit of Vermeer from Mrs. Cogg's Crafts. But I just went in and enlarged it and saved a bigger version of that. So now I have two versions I can print off. This one has more of the whole picture. This one has more of the picture, but this is the main part that I wanted, was the girl. Here I just cut, it's a clock die. I cut it in half because you're not going to see the other part, so I'll save it for something else. And this was a bird I had collaged again months ago. And so that page is going to play off like that with these pages here. And this had a lot of green. All right, I'm going to flip it back. Hopefully I haven't messed up my, no, actually they did pretty good. My perfect pearls didn't get too bent out of shape. And on this part, I just added some perfect pearls as well, so you can see a little glimmer there. All right, so that's got to dry. And then I'll put it back. And that's another reason I like the 3-ring binder, because you can move things around or take them out in order to work on them or let them dry separate. This one, this is just a little booklet I had put in. And here, I talked about this in my last video, a woman, and I don't know if she's holding the door closed or like kind of locked up here. I just loved the flow of this sort of peacock dress. And, you know, here I feel like we have sort of maybe a queen who, I don't know, maybe has ordered her locked up or something. I just found that kind of went well together. Part of why I'm doing this Medieval Garden book is I've been reading all of the Philippa Gregory historical fiction. And if you don't know about Philippa Gregory, just wonderful author. If you want to know about, you know, Elizabeth I, the War of the Roses, Henry VIII, all of those. There are just a tremendous amount of books out there. And she writes so well. It's like you're reading a novel, but you're getting all this historical background. And it's so understandable. And they're just addictive. You know, I finished one, I ordered another one. I like to order books off of thriftbooks.com, and you can get even hardbacks for like $4 or $5 that are in very good condition. And so that's a lot of this has been inspired by reading about that time period. All right, almost up to where I stopped. This here, you have this beautiful medieval woman, and he reminds me of a wizard or a sorcerer or a wise man of some kind. Maybe she's getting advice, that kind of thing there in the forest. And this page had already been done. And again, these are from the Vermeer collection by Mrs. Cogg. And here was just the little booklet I had put with it, with some die cuts and birds and all, butterflies. And that's how that page goes. I did add these little roses. It's one rose. I just cut it in half and added it. It's very subtle, and that's fine. It sort of picks up this sort of mauve in the background there, and just needed a little something more. And then this is about as far as I've gotten with this. Here I put this page down, not as much medieval. This is sort of early Tudor times, somewhere in there, Henry VIII, Elizabeth I maybe. Added some sari silk. These are die cut roses. They're not really die cuts. They were on a digikit from Dreams, etc. And I cut them out. But then I mounted them with the puffy stickers underneath them, and some big ones. You can get these puffy stickers all over the place. Even Target has sold them at times. And so here you also have this collage next to it, and this one covering that page. And let's see, this is about one more page, and then that's as far as I've gotten. So here you have this woman, and I just loved her hair, and she looks very regal. She's not necessarily a queen, but she looks well-to-do, beautiful clothing, jewelry, her hair. There's a castle in the background. And then I also added just this little medieval scene that I have, and added it to this, especially with the colors. And then these are just some stamps. This is a stamp set from Red Lead Paperworks. And what I did with that, let me grab the stamp real quick, if I can. Here it is. This is one from Red Lead Paperworks, and see, this is that particular stamp. And just with, again, old book page, like you see me using all the time. And the same with this one. It actually says Winter Blossoms, but I just used the word blossoms there for what she's holding. But all I did with it is I initially, stamped the bunch together, and then I just carefully tore them apart. But this color effect is using a Distress Oxide by Stamp Pad by Tim Holtz. I think this might be peeled paint. And I just basically stamped the stamp pad on the stamp, and then I sprayed it with my just my little water thing, sprayed the stamp directly, and then I laid it on the paper. And the oxide part is why you get that sort of what's the word? Distilled effect with it. It's sort of, even though it's dry, it has that watercolor effect to it. And that's from the Distress Oxide. And so I happened to use that one there. I made some other ones with, let me just grab a few here with that. Here were the other ones in that stamp set. And so if you think of, here's the stamp, so there's the big one, the little thin one, and then that is that one. And I just gently tore them apart from each other, and then distress the edges with vintage photo. And to get things like that, I just, put the page, just squeeze the page like that, put a little ink on it, and then put it flat again. And so just, again, it's sort of like tough love, if you think about it. And you're just kind of crumpling it up, but then those lines will take the ink and just make it that much more distressed. Here is the winter blossoms that was done that way. Here were some other things I stamped yesterday, just to again add to the pages as I worked through them. And just I'm trying to keep things fairly neutral. And if when I am ready to put them on the page, if I want to add a little color to pick up something in here, I can. But otherwise, just having it the white and the black with a little touch of vintage photo, it's neutral enough, it can just blend in with kind of everything. And so that's some stamping I had done. And that's about where I left off. So I think at this point, I'm going to start some work on this. And this is the next page that's ready to go. And I'll give you an update once I've worked through some more pages. You can also see details like close up of the pages I just showed on my Instagram page. So have a good day and have some fun playing with paper and getting the stamps out or stitching some pages. And I'll talk to you another time. Bye-bye.